Hello and welcome to this edition of Majid's Kitchen. Today we'll make a very simple and delicious recipe, one of the most easy recipes here on the channel that will only take you 10 to 15 minutes. And you just need a few ingredients. So if you don't have bread or if you want to change, this is one of your go-tos. Let's get right into the ingredients. The main ingredients here are flour and grated coconut. You can use the dried coconut in the store. Make sure it's unsweetened. You can rehydrate it by soaking it with a little water. I'm using freshly grated coconut. Ground chilies, these are dried chilies, you can use fresh as well. And some salt. So that's for the standard recipe. You can make a variety according to your choice by adding different types of vegetables. I'm just using some carrots, thinly sliced, green onions, and shallots or red onions, also thinly sliced. Some greens also can be used, like green beans and water spinach or regular spinach. So let's get into making of the dough. I will be showing you the two ways. So let's start with the plain rotis. Okay, so I'm going to use half of the flour here. So 1 cup. Pinch of salt. Some dried chilies. To taste. So I'm going to be using about half a teaspoon here. Then we'll use half of the coconut. Okay, so that's about half. And we'll keep the rest for the other roti. We'll mix this. For a healthier version or gluten-free version, you can use red rice flour or plain rice flour. And we'll add a little bit of water. And this you have to do a very little at a time. You can use your hands. In the beginning, I just like to use the back of a wooden spoon or a chopstick like this. You don't want it too wet. A little bit more. And now I'm going to start just mixing it by hand. Okay, now you can see it's not overworked. Okay, don't overwork the dough. And we'll keep this aside and work on the next one. Okay, so using the same bowl, go with the rest of the coconut. Okay, so now we're going to make the roti with the vegetables. Okay, so here we go. Carrots, onions, and the shallots. Okay, and to this we add a pinch of salt and mix this. Then we will add the flour. Okay. Okay, now we're adding the 1 cup of flour. And I'm just going to mix this like this. and do the same thing. So I started off with 200 milliliters of water, and then we'll see how much water was left, and then divide it by 2, and then we'll have an idea of how much water was actually used for the recipe. So just pick up the dry bits. And if you like chili, like me, you can add about half a teaspoon or according to your taste. Okay, so that's about right. See that? Very loose. And there you have that dough ready. Okay, so we're going to divide the balls and we'll be right back. Okay, here with the 2 rotis, 2 versions. One is the plain roti with dried chili, and the other one contains the vegetables. Now these are approximately 75 grams each. I used 2 cups of flour and 2 cups of coconut, and you basically get around 250 grams. I divided it into 250 grams for those and 250 grams for the plain. Right, it depends on the size of the roti you want. So these are around 75 grams, and you don't really need a rolling pin for this. That's how easy and convenient and quick this recipe is. So I'll show you how that gets done. And just to clarify, these are coconut rotis, 2 versions. So I very lightly sprinkle the surface here, clean surface, with flour. You don't want to put too much, okay? Because when you cook it, the flour is going to end up being like a crust on the outside, and that's not what you want. So let's just press it, and these are, you know, a little bit thicker than your regular rotis, and as you can see, it's also made a little different, more plain in terms of not having hot water or any oil. Okay, and that's about right, and that goes straight onto the pan. So as you're doing it, as you're pressing it, you want to put it on the pan. So let's do that. Use a hot non-stick pan if you have one. If you don't have a roti pan, not a problem. You can always use one of these. Even if you don't have a non-stick pan, a regular pan will do, but make sure it's hot so that it doesn't stick or break apart. Okay, while that's working, we'll keep going. And you want to be fast, you don't want it to dry out. Okay. That's another one ready to go. That's the color you want. We'll just work on the other side. So you need to press it a little just so that it cooks evenly. Okay. So you can see some areas that looks darker. That's not burnt. This is the way it is done. Okay, let's flip it. And there we have our coconut rotis. I'll continue making these whilst you get ready for the presentation. Oh, a vegetable one. I think you wanted to see that. Let's flip this over. There you go. That's exactly what we're looking for. Okay. We'll be right back. And there are beautiful, simple and delicious coconut rotis, done in two ways, a plain version and one with some vegetables. I'm serving it up with a beef curry, and I have a dry chili paste to the left and a kind of an onion sambal, or an onion chutney, a dry version. This is sweet and spicy. The one on the left is called kata sambal, and the one on the right is called sini sambal. This really goes very well with roti and this type of food. Now, just a reminder, you want to make beef curry like this? Check out my recipe in the playlist. And if you, that hardcore kind of cook who wants to do things from scratch, then check out the recipe and make your own curry powder. How's that? All these recipes brought to you by Majid's Kitchen. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Like the video if you like it, share, subscribe, and most importantly, give the recipes a try.